I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Yeah, enough of that. Oh, goodness. Hello. Happy Saturday, everyone. Hopefully everything is going all right. Goodness gracious. I initially planned on playing Soul Reaver today. Hey, shirt dude. I was planning on playing Soul Reaver today, and then I looked at then I just came into the office. I'm like, kind of muggy in here. Open my windows, stuff like that. I'm like, what's going on? Then I checked the weather report. I'm gonna read this to you guys. I'm gonna read you the insanity and the schizophrenia that is my state's weather patterns. It is, and I quote, 87 degrees in Illinois right now, in my part of Illinois. What the fuck? It's October! And yet it is almost 90 degrees out. Now, there's not a heat index, so it's just 87. But, dear God, you know? And it's still fairly humid. And it's like, what the fuck? And, like, the 10-day is even crazier, because it's like, tomorrow, 75 degrees. Monday, 68 degrees. Tuesday, 73. Wednesday, 77. And then it gets back up into the 80s at the end of next week. What the fuck is going on? It's October! Be cold! God damn it! I'm gonna have to run my air conditioner in the middle of October? Are you fucking serious? Because I live upstairs and heat carries upwards. So it's always hotter in my apartment than it is anywhere else in the area. Like, it sucks. So I am genuinely just thinking to myself, like, once my finances are a lot more steady than they are right now, I'm gonna have to look for a place that's like in a cooler location or something like that, or just a place where I'm not like in the air, you know, like I'm not upstairs. Because, dear Lord, so yeah, so that's fun. But hopefully everybody else is doing all right. Who's all here? So Gabe is here. Servant's here. It says he's at work. Panzernaut's here. So is Shirt Dude and Matt Wheaton. Haven't seen Matt in a while. Hopefully everything's going good, dude. And Tyler Jorgensen's here as well. Hopefully more people will pile in as we go on. So yeah, the idea of like playing a video game with all the lights on and shit, I'm like, nah, not gonna happen. So instead, I opted to do a little bit of mobile suit building. So last we left our Nightingale, this is how much was completely painted and assembled. I might end up redoing the fuel tanks. I haven't decided yet because there's a couple spots on them that looks kind of splotchy. So we will see what I feel with these later. But so far, it's a pretty good looking kit. The rest of it looks good. I like the red shade that we picked for it and stuff like that. It's metallic paint, so it shines really well, as you can see. Just overall a cool looking mobile armor. So yeah. Let's go ahead and get back to rocking out. Because last we left things, we had prepped a few things for, we had prepped a few things for painting, but we didn't get to it because I wasn't feeling that well that day. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish priming, and then we are going to go ahead and get some painting done today as well. Something already fell. What sucks is that my right shoulder has been very stiff lately. So I have, if you see me wince in pain, that's why. But anyway, we're going to prime a few parts, and then get them. Oh wait, how was I doing this? Oh, sorry, I was just gonna prime them bit by bit. Okay, so let me go ahead and clean this up real fast. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the Nightingale's looking so far. Then the next project that we're going to do, we will probably be doing during the course of November. That one will be the Banshee Norn, which the way we're going to do that is we're going to start with what we're going to do is we're going to build the entire inner frame. We're going to study it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to map out how we're going to put the LEDs in it. And what we're effectively going to do is make our own MGEX version of the Banshee Norn. It is going to be a long process, but I'm really looking forward to it because the first LEDs that I kind of fucked around with were the ones that Bandai sells that are like those discs that like certain kits have a spot for, including the Nightingale. They're okay, but they don't shine that bright. The second one that I did was with the Barbatos that I built, where I put an LED unit in its head to make the eyes glow, and that went really well. You guys have already seen that. My office is kind of a mess right now, so I'm not going to be moving around too much. But trust me that it's awesome. Another time I'll show it again if people need me to. With the Banshee Norn, I plan on putting LEDs into the entire frame of it, so that the whatchamacallit, the Psycho frame will shine very brightly. Okay. So, we need to prime, it looks like 4 pieces in white. And then, no, 8 pieces in white. And then we're going to go ahead and start in on the painting. So, question for you guys in chat. I am sorry that you guys are hearing my normal, like, fan in the background, aside from the fan you're going to hear whenever I hit my painting booth. Who is ready for a good old-fashioned Micah rant? Because I got one brewing that has been bothering me all fucking day, or at least since I woke up. Which I woke up around about 3 hours ago. You had the same thing going on with the muscles below your right ass cheek last week. Yeah, just random muscle stiffness is just never fun. Alright, Gabe is ready for a rant. Anybody else? Or rather, I should say, are there any vetoes? Or is anyone going to object to me ranting for a little bit? Speak now or forever hold your pizza. Alright, people seem to be in favor. Okay, so, I saw one of the dumbest statements. And by the way, this is not a personal call-out, but I am gonna be ranting about the situation that involves certain people. So if those certain people were to ever see this and get angry, I'm not angry at you personally, I'm angry at the situation, and I wish you had handled it better. It's not personal, because I don't know these people. But, there was a gentleman, goes by the Gaming Brit, here on the YouTube. And he did a video about video game remakes. You know, of course, before the Silent Hill 2 remake comes out for tomorrow, for those of us who got the deluxe edition, which Brain actually bought for me as a present. which is awesome for Brain, but Brain is a good friend. Probably a better one than I deserve. But anyway. But that unlocks tomorrow, which I do plan on possibly streaming. I have not decided yet. Let me spray this out. But, I will freely admit, like, the Silent Hill 2 remake has, kind of driven people insane. Because there is a facet of the Silent Hill 2 fans, that are of the opinion that Silent Hill 2 should never be remade. You should never touch it. And I think a lot of that is inspired by the fact that the remaster was so bad back during the PS3, Xbox 360 era. Which, by the way, it was a very bad remaster. It was terrible. But I am not one of those people that agrees with that. But there are some people that have gone absolutely batshit insane, and I think this Gaming Brick guy might be one who is like that. I don't know, I don't watch his content, but he compared remakes in video games to AI art. I'm gonna say this right now. That is one of the most sensationalist bullshit statements I have ever heard on the internet, at least over the last 5 years. Since I would say, like, the whole culture war thing started to really kick off. And there's been a lot of really fucking stupid statements made about the arts in that time frame from both sides of the political aisle. It is fucking stupid to compare the two. On so many levels. And then what I saw somebody pointed out is that this guy, who is now saying that remakes are soulless, they are comparable to AI art, da-da-da-da-da, he took sponsorship money from Square Enix for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like, what the fuck? Are you serious? So remakes, all of them, are terrible and are comparable to AI art, but you took money from Square Enix in regards to Rebirth, a remake. What the hell? What kind of bullshit is that? And the funny thing about it is that this follows after Sphere Hunter, who goes by the name Susie, when they actually said something similar. Now keep in mind that the Sphere Hunter, she has filleted every single Resident Evil remake. Every single one. Now, on the flip side, I will admit that so have I. I enjoyed all of them, even 3. Though 3 obviously has some flaws to it. But the difference is, you don't see me saying that remakes are soulless and the bane of the fucking industry, do you? Because I don't believe that. And here's the thing. If someone says to me, just some random dude says, hey, I'm personally not big into remakes. I would much rather play the original and put my money towards games that aren't remakes or things like that. I don't have I think that there's nothing wrong with that mentality. I don't think that there's a single damn thing wrong with it. Because at the end of the day, it's your fucking money. The economy fucking sucks. And, people have every right to be frugal in this day and age. Especially when it comes to the fact that I will freely admit, even though I'm excited to play the Silent Hill 2 remake, I do think it's overpriced. I don't think that it's... Unless they added a bunch of stuff to the original, I can't understand paying for that when Space Marine 2 didn't cost that much. Baldur's Gate 3 didn't cost that much. And good luck finding a game that's come out in the last few years that equals the amount of content that's in Baldur's Gate 3. But then again, I think that's just Konami being greedy. My overall point is that I personally am sick and fucking tired of all of the hullabaloo. All of them just making everything so much more fucking dramatic than it actually is. It's weird that I do not know what a sphere hunter is and why do they hunt spheres. I don't know. I've never understood the... I don't know what the origin of that name, username is. But regardless, my overall point is that, like, if you're going to sit there and poo-poo remakes, but you do it after you took a chunk of money from other companies that have made remakes, you're a fucking hypocrite. Period, point blank. Because in Susie's case, Susie's a transgender person. And they got cast as Trish in the upcoming Devil May Cry anime's dub. Which, I mean, she's already pretending to be a woman, so her pretending to be a woman in an anime, I guess, is just par for the course. But she's taking money from Capcom to be in that anime. Capcom has made stupid bank on remakes. And suddenly it's a problem now when Konami does it? It's like with the other dude who's taking money from Square Enix. You're taking money from Square Enix, that their big project right now, what they're hoping is going to pay the bills is Final Fantasy VII Remakes trilogy, which admittedly I really enjoyed the first game. I haven't played the sequel yet because it's not on PC, though I want to when I get the chance. But you're taking money from Square Enix, and then you're dogging their competition in Konami. Suddenly it's a problem. That part of me that was very vocal during the meme war constantly is like screaming in my brain like, Jesus fucking Christ. And it's screaming a specific lyrics from a Pantera song of, is there no standard anymore? The song is Walk, by the way, for those wondering. It's just something that bugs the shit out of me. Granted, I wasn't the biggest fan of Sphere Hunter when she tried without any sort of second to think about it. She just listened to what Helena Taylor had to say about Bayonetta being recast without listening to both sides of it, alongside several other YouTubers. You know? But it just bothers me. It's like... people, like, these YouTubers need to realize that they have become... A lot of people see them as the new games journo. And the whole thing about the meme war, and, you know, like Gamergate and all that shit, is that people lost trust in the game journalist, you know? And for good reason. Some would argue that you shouldn't have trusted them in the first place. I would like to think that when I was a game journalist, I was trustworthy, but whatever. But, you know, people lost faith in the games journalist and the games press around that time. For good reason, because game journalists, you know, just got progressively worse. Again, I called it years before that it happened, that an event like Gamergate was going to happen. But the thing that these YouTubers need to realize is that they need to hold themselves to a standard. They need to understand that everything you do, especially if you're going to cover video games or really anything, if you're going to cover it professionally, there is a level of professionalism and consistency that is going to be expected of you. And you need to always keep that in mind. Because at the end of the day, all of this is not about you. It's about the audience. Oh, I missed the spot. I forgot to trim off a little piece of plastic. That's not good. This little bit right here. You can kind of see it. Here, I gotta turn on this light. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump the microphone there. This little nub right there ain't supposed to be there. I'll just clean this off real quick. But as it stands, since it should always be about the audience and about taking care of your audience. If you fuck up something in regards to the audience's expectation for you as a creator, you gotta own that shit. And you gotta look at it and say to yourself, okay, what is the criticism? What are people asking of me? And in this particular case, like, all I'm asking is for just consistency. Like, if you're gonna act like all remakes are the worst thing ever, but you're taking money from companies that make them, and you're doing it with a smile on your face, you need to be self-aware enough that you understand that you taking that money says something. It says something about you as a person. So as an example, let's say Arby's comes up with a new like beef and cheddar, or a beef and cheese sandwich with melted cheese, but instead of cheddar it's pepper jack, which to me sounds awesome. But let's say Arby's does something like that, and then it sort of creates a cascade effect where suddenly other restaurants say to themselves, hey, we can throw melted pepper jack on stuff. We don't have roast beef, but we have ham. So all of a sudden Hardee's makes a roast ham and cheese sandwich with melted pepper jack. Which also sounds awesome. And then let's say I took a sponsorship from Hardee's, specifically promoting that sandwich. And then Wendy's suddenly decides to get in on the pepper jack game. And then I decry Wendy's. I'm a hypocrite at that point. You know, because suddenly I'm against the pepper jack revolution. Only after I took money from a competitor. That would be fucked up. And I would rightfully be absolutely and totally made fun of and decried for that particular action. That's basically what's going on right now. Is Sphere Hunter and Gaming Brit have taken money from companies that also are in the remake game. And they did it happily. I get money from Square Enix to promote Final Fantasy VII? Let's go. I get to voice an iconic character in Trish in her younger days. Let's go. You know, and I get it. Don't get me wrong, like, the point of doing this, if you're gonna treat it like a job, is to make money. You know? But it is downright immoral to make these sorts of arguments all of a sudden. And I absolutely just despise it. And especially, like, the AI art thing really bothers me, especially because I'm a comic book creator. And I am specifically a comic book creator that is very against AI art. I think it looks like trash. I think that it's soulless and uninspired. And given that the purpose of art is human expression, trying to remove the human element is disgraceful to me. I'll answer that question in just a minute, Army. I am in the middle of a rant. I'm of the opinion that AI art absolutely and totally fucks people out of a job. And the people that are trying to integrate it into their work are being cheap and uninspired. Looking at you, ya boy. Not very happy with Richard these days. And the fact of the matter is that it's a plague that needs to be purged. If there was a bill that went into Congress to ban AI art, I would support that bill. I would support it in a heartbeat. Because it's not expression. It's computer-generated gobbledygook. It has no place in the arts. And inevitably will be bad for people's job prospects. Get rid of it. Manticoris, are you seriously comparing character creators to AI art generation? There's no equivalency there. What? Anyway. But ultimately, the people that are trying to use that to effectively replace artists, absolute scum. Absolute scum. And I hate seeing it. So to compare a remake video game like Silent Hill 2, for example, Manticoris, there's no comparison there. You're being silly. That's just a bad take, dude. Don't defend bad shit with bad takes, man. You use a public AI art gen program? Well, then get the fuck out of my chat then, dude. I'll speed you along. See you later. Get that bullshit out of here. We don't support that around here. It's fucking garbage. Sorry, but if you support that shit and you're gonna use an argument like that around me, get the fuck out. I want nothing to do with you. So as I was saying before I was interrupted by that idiot, comparing that soulless garbage that only morons would ever want to use or support, comparing that, something that could end up taking a lot of people's jobs away, to remake video games, which, by the way, in some cases are actually giving people jobs and helping their own lives. Like, comparing the two to me is just silly. It's nonsensical. Like that fucking idiot's coming in here and making such bad comparisons. It's just a bad argument. The two are nothing in common with one another. I mean, comparing something like Hero Creator or whatever it's called to fucking AI-generated art, which could end up substituting for an original artist? Come the fuck on. You'd have to have a double-digit IQ to actually believe that. And hey, Brain, man, you missed out the chance to drop the hammer on somebody. I had to do it. Dude came in here, I shit you not, compares substituting artists with AI art to stuff like Hero Creator and things along those lines. Might genuinely be like one of the dumbest arguments, and he wouldn't let up on it. I'm like, just get the fuck out, dude. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Might legitimately be one of the worst takes that I've ever read in the chat. Can't rely or depend on AI anyway. Exactly. It's never going to have the consistency or the passion that human art will ever have. And honestly, the desire to automate the arts is fucking mortifying. And the people that support that shit, I don't want them around me. I think that cracking down on large-scale data scraping would cripple AI shenanigans, but most people in the high seas would rather use the problem of AI to justify overbearing copyright chicanery. Yeah, that is true. I think any legislation that would get rid of it would have to be very specific. My whole thing is the idea of using AI art and selling it. Like, using it for commercial purposes. The reason I called out your boy Zach earlier is because apparently one of his books that he's going to be doing, which is called, like, Comic Book, the Comic Book, is going to have, like, a bunch of AI art in it. I'm like, you're an asshole, dude. Absolute disgrace to the medium at that point. I used to be buddies with that guy, too. Like, now I'm kind of ashamed of it. Like, goddamn, man. How could you fall off so hard? Granted, from what I hear, a lot of his takes recently have been fucking garbage. But especially in the print medium, like, the usage of AI is just... should not be there. It's going to take the soul out of everything. Some guy just got arrested for using AI music to make millions. Yeah, and he deserves that arrest. Because it was fraud. None of it was real. None of it was actually created. AI cannot create. It is all based on something else. Which is something that a lot of people don't seem to realize. Is it's not actually art. It's not actually a creation. It's at a point where in the bylaws of Grindstone Arts, my publishing company, we actually have, as part of our requirements for being a part of the company, you have to agree to no AI usage. And I mean for anything. Trailers cannot use AI-generated music. We don't use AI art. Anything like that. Never going to be used. Alright, see you in a bit, Brain. Yeah, Brain actually makes a good point also. He says, I get where it comes from, but would be short-sighted. It's like selling your soul to fix a flat tire. Your immediate problem is fixed, but you fucked your future, basically. You know? Now, there are some things that you can use AI for that aren't, like, taking over an artist's job. For an example, texture upscaling for video games. That is not that big of a deal. And automating texture upscaling in a video game hurts nothing. If anything, it's gonna save you a lot of time. Because I remember seeing there's a mod for Resident Evil 4 on PC, the original Resident Evil 4, that they used AI upscaling to basically as their foundation. Like, we're gonna upscale these textures, and then we're gonna go in and fix the things that the AI couldn't do by hand. That really isn't that big of a deal, because it's still having someone work on it. You've still got someone's hands touching it. And you understand that the AI can't really do your job. It can just make it a little bit easier. The human element should never be taken out of things. There's nothing wrong with using automation to make jobs a little faster and a little easier, but there is a big problem if you start using automation to destroy jobs. At that point, we have crossed a line that's gonna fuck a lot of people over, and people are not thinking about it. I'm gonna get political for a second, so I apologize. I'm not endorsing any one political aisle. I'm just gonna talk about economics for a second. One thing that I saw that people were saying with the longshoremen strike is that they disagreed with them getting a substantial pay raise. Basically to avoid a long strike. I'm going to say this. Everything that the dude that was the head of that union said about how his union could effectively cripple the American economy was correct. But some people were saying, oh, we could just use automation to get rid of him. Do you have any idea how that opens the maw of hell for every blue-collar worker on the fucking country? We use automation to get rid of those guys. Where does it end? Here's a spoiler. It doesn't. You start using automation to get rid of that job, you're going to start using automation to get rid of everybody. Things like that throughout history always have a cascading effect. And maybe some people will call me a Luddite for that. But in that particular case, I'm perfectly fine with being a Luddite. Because the long-term effect of total replacement with automation wouldn't just do economic damage, it would do societal damage. Part of the reason why I'm against AI in the arts as much as I am. Think of all of the great artists that exist out there that would get their entire livelihoods absolutely fucked if we substituted everything with AI. Absolutely brilliant creative minds capable of beautiful expression would be silenced by a machine. Instead replaced with slop put through a machine for just mindless mass consumption. You want a dystopia? Mass automation is how you get a dystopia. And I'm calling it right now. AI art is just the beginning of it. Because if we as a society are so willing, like that one fucking idiot that was in here earlier, to substitute actual creative idea with machine automation, if we are so ready to do that, we're fucked. And at that point, we're going headfirst into a Huxleyan dystopia. Where everything gets automated and people are nothing more than pleasure-seeking automatons. I remember seeing a while ago, whenever we did Micah and Hatman on politics, I remember saying around that time that the dystopia we need to be more worried about than a Orwellian one is a Huxleyan. Because as horrifying of a tale as 1984 and Animal Farm are, if you read Brave New World, you'll be fucking horrified. That is the future that we are headed towards. And nobody is cautious of it. I went from fucking ranting about video game remakes and bad takes on the internet to Huxley and dystopians. Dystopias? How the fuck did I do that? But I stand by it. Too many people are focused on the pleasures and immediate gratification that they can get. I want it now, now, now. I want more, more, more. People are like drug addicts. That's going to lead to another rant. Nobody savors anything anymore. Question for you guys in chat. When is the last time you savored something and what was it? Tell me while I get a drink of water. Because I'm thirsty. But when is the last time you guys savored something? I'm curious. I want to know. Because this is something I thought of earlier. That I was like, wow, things are changing. Eating a steak from Outback yesterday, very nice. Please tell me medium rare. Not food because I have to eat at my desk nowadays. I understand that. About a week ago, stick of cinnamon. So you sat there and you took it in. One thing that I have noticed is that we are not taking in, as people, especially young men, well done. Oh, rocket, really? Oh, I am so disappointed. Waffles for breakfast. That's another good thing to savor. But yeah, well done. Why you do that to the burf? Why you do that to the buff? Why? Why you do that? What? No. No. What? No. Oh, man. Man, I'm sad now. Man, that poor buff. Just it got cooked to oblivion. Man. That poor steak. I'm legit sad hearing that. Like, fuck. Never seen Micah more dejected, even when he saw Jaw was get vipers. Dude, y'all don't know how serious I take steak. When I mastered steak in regards to my own cooking, that was a very proud day for me. The fact that I can make a steakhouse style steak and not go to the fucking steakhouse. Yeah. There ain't nothing that quite hits like a medium rare ribeye that you basted in butter with garlic and thyme and rosemary and it just perfumes. Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that it's better than sex, but it's fucking close. I'm just giving you shit, Rocket Rocket. I'm not that sad about it. It is kind of a bummer though, because like, goddamn, man. Like you gotta try it medium rare. You gotta try it medium rare, man. Medium rare with a really good sear. Butter basted, garlic, rosemary, and thyme. It is an experience. You're not going to eat a better piece of meat in your lifetime in regards to flavor. Specifically if you do like a ribeye or a, a New York strip. Ugh, God. Getting warm in here. Do you think caring more about talent than politics would stop the rise of AI in the arts? I think you're starting to get on a track that could help. So here's my thoughts on that. One thing that has caused the rise in AI in regards to translation, why Japanese companies are looking at AI translation instead of having translators that are going to fuck it up do it, is because of that. Because some of those people are focusing way too much on politics or on improving it instead of just translating it straight up. So yeah, I think that would probably help it. Because those companies are looking at people that are their target audience in other countries complaining, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And then the Japanese company is like, what the fuck is this? And, you know. What the fuck? That was weird. I got a real quick pang of lightheadedness for a second there. It's gone now, but I might have to... After we finish painting this, I might go ahead and start the assembly and then call it. I don't know yet. But anyway. But that's part of it. But back on the savoring thing, it's something that I noticed. That's the wrong thing. That's something I noticed kind of recently is like, because I myself have also been living the life of an insular individual, and I haven't been like working in an actual workplace in ages. I kind of realized that my actual like socialization is almost nil at this point. And I realized that part of that is not a tuma. I realized that that might be part of the problem, because I noticed that I'm not the only person like this. Is that because, like, since COVID, a lot of people have become much more insular, and they don't really get out and socialize, and they're doing everything that they can to avoid it. And I realized I really wasn't that different. And then I thought to myself, it's like one of the nicest nights that I've had in a while was going with my buddy who I hadn't actually sat down and eaten with in a year, going to fucking Pizza Ranch of all things. And just shooting the shit and talking about life. I hadn't done that in ages. And I'm like, what the fuck? But anywho. But I really feel like, as a society, like, a lot of people aren't savoring things. It's just consume, 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 binge, binge, binge. And we're not really spending enough time with actual people to get like proper human feedback on our ideas and our lives. And a breeze just started blowing, and it's beautiful. I needed that. Is the rise of AI art due to laziness, or it's, hey, look at this new toy gimmick, or both? Yeah, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. For sure. It's definitely laziness and cost cutting. Okay. But yeah, my whole thought is just speaking as an artist, like, I would much rather people would not just be consume, consume, consume. Like, take it in, man. Breathe it. Enjoy it. Enjoy all of it. Don't just do it to do it. I feel like for some people, especially people that, like, have been playing, like, Helldivers and shit, they're coming over and playing Space Marine, and they're like, holy fuck, like, this is a video game with a story and, like, interesting and fun characters. And it's got this cool theme about brotherhood and courage and learning to trust people and, you know, taking ownership for your past mistakes, and but it's in this super manly package, and it's all grimdark and crazy and fucking awesome, and I love it. Like, I've noticed that that's sort of like my biggest problem with the current influx of the live service game, is that it largely is, Army, it is very much my pleasure. And to answer your earlier question, so you know I didn't forget about you, I have not seen that big-ass Zaku 2 yet. I am curious about it, for sure, now that you have mentioned it. But anyway. See, I remember things. But anyway. Let's have a look at the manual and see what we need to do to assemble some shit here. I'll clean this out real quick. But it's one of those things where it's like, that's one thing that I feel like we got spoiled on, and why I'm not a big fan of the live service boom. Like, I like games with some meat on their bones. Helldivers 2 was fun for a bit, but ultimately, like, they made so many silly mistakes with the few things that made that core game loop fun that I was like, ah, fuck this. Whereas Space Marine just has so much more to it. You feel like you're doing stuff. Okay. Let me see here. So that's the body unit. Oh wow, there's a lot more to the waist that needs to get done. We're not ready to assemble yet. Not even close. Oh, wait a minute. I'm talking shit. Never mind. What happened is I jumped ahead a little bit. So I'm thinking next time what we're going to do is we are going to have to do... That's not it. Where's the tail? We're gonna have to do this fucking thing. So what I am going to do is we were actually playing through the Space Marine campaign earlier. I think I kind of want to switch over to that for a little bit, for like an hour. Ugh. Oh, that fan is so nice. It is so fucking hot in here right now. Actually, you know what? If I start gaming, well, fuck it. Never mind. Fuck it. I just don't want to work on that tail right now. Honestly. Oh, God. But yeah, I got really lightheaded for a second there, and it's like, I'm like, you should probably stop painting. So give me a minute to kind of relax here. Then we'll do some stuff. Ugh. Golly. Well, before we maybe switch over, let me check something. I would have absolutely loved to do more, but it's so goddamn warm. Actually, you know what? I just realized Bad Blood is on the WWE pay-per-view. I'm going to go watch that. So you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm going to do that instead of sweating more. But tomorrow, whenever Silent Hill 2 unlocks for me, I'm going to do a test of it. And if it works well, we might stream it. If not, then we won't. But on that note, guys, thank you all for hanging out. I'm sorry it was so short, but I am gonna get some rest and watch some wrestling. So I will catch you guys later.